Part 3 is about learning on land and will give you some insight into what to expect during the first windsurfing lesson. Please be advised that watching video does not replace a hands-on instructor-led lesson. When you are done watching this part of the DVD, you should be able to recognize the different windsurfing positions as well as name the basic turns you'll be asked to perform during your first lesson. So let's look quickly at an overview of the windsurfing positions in their sequence.
Learning to windsurf involves learning a dance routine that you do on the board with the sail. The easiest way to learn the dance is to practice it on the simulator. After I position the uphaul rope on top of the sail, I grab the rope and stand up on the board with legs bent. I keep my back straight and stand up using my leg muscles, not my lower back, to uphaul the sail out of the water. Then hand over hand on the rope, grabbing the mast with both hands, arms extended. The mast and my body now form a V, which is the basic position. As with almost everything you do on the windsurf board, you keep your back to the wind. In basic, I have one foot on each side of the mast and my insoles over the center line. I'm looking forward to where I want to go to make sure no one is in front of me before I power up the sail. I now move the back foot back several inches and position the front foot so it's pointing forward besides the mast base. This is called the start position. Notice that in the start position my forward hand does not move. Next, I swing the sail across my chest with the front hand to what is called the balance position. The power spot of the sail is now in front of me, so when I sheet in, the board will move forward. Now I move my backhand to the boom and simply turn my shoulders to power the sail on and off. This is called the sail position. The knees should be bent and weight back on my heels. My elbows are also bent so I can extend the arms back and forth. My front hand is still on the mast, which makes it very easy to step back into the basic position. When sailing, I also must steer the board by tilting the whole rig back to head upwind, or I tilt the rig forward to bear off. Steering is simple to do, and it helps greatly to pick a spot on shore and head for it. Remember, as always, you keep your back to the wind. After sailing a bit, I need to turn around and go back to where I came from. I go back to basic, then swing the sail towards the tail of the board, which causes it to spin underneath my feet. This is called the 180 turn. Now I'm ready to do my basic start, balance, sail sequence and sail back to where I came from. After a while, when I want to turn around again, I simply go back to basic, then move the sail towards the tail of the board again, spinning it under my feet, doing the 180 turn, then sail off in the other direction. Another type of upwind turn is called the tack. Tacking involves leaning the sail hard to the deck, which then turns the nose into the wind as you step around the front of the board. When the nose just points through the wind, tilt the sail forward to bear off again and sail away. Now that you're an expert in some of the basics, let's see if you can recognize what this new student is doing. She has her back to the wind and is slowly turning the board around, doing a 180 turn. She's in the basic position. Now she looks ahead to where she's going to go, steps back to do the start, balance, bring the sail up, then sheeting in, and off she goes. Let's look at a few things you can do to practice the dance. Write this phrase down and keep repeating until you have it memorized. Basic, start, balance, sail, then steer. To practice the positions, take a long broom and rubber band on a yardstick. A crack in the walk can be the center line of the board. Let's first take a look at the feet in slow motion. In the basic position, my feet are on both sides of the mast, my insoles over the center line. It is critical that you look forward to where you are sailing to. Resist looking down. I'm pretending I'm sailing on port, so look to your left. Now take your back hand, the right hand, off the mast, and at the same time step the back foot back several inches, so the toes are over the center line. Then step the front foot back besides the mast, pointing forward. To repeat this sequence for sailing on a starboard tack, just do the reverse. Now let's look at the whole drill 3 times in real speed. When you practice this drill, remember, don't look down, look to where you are sailing to. Now let's look at what the upper body is doing. I look to the left and keep the head pointed that way. I'm doing basic, start, balance, and sail. Now I must steer and tilt the rig back to sail more upwind, and then tilt the rig forward to bear off. Learning the dance beforehand will make the lesson go smoother and get you on the water faster. Instead of starting from scratch, your instructor will be able to start by fine-tuning your movements. Hopefully you now have some insight into what windsurfing is about and what windsurfers are doing on the water. As you have just seen, there is much more to it than just standing there and holding on to a sail. With a little study and by practicing the basic steps, you'll keep your back to the wind and be windsurfing at speed in no time.